Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album vs. Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and sometimes this guy.
Smack 'em a gob!
Ralph Vieira is also on our network with the Vieira Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics. A South Park podcast called Suck My Balls. The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido. Ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast. And the Great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcast and the Laughcast. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more.
It's time for Rat Salad Review with your hosts, Wayne Noon, Greg Norgal, and Nate Lander.
Welcome back to Rat Salad Review. It's been a year, actually. I don't know if it's been a year from now, but it's been a year.
Yeah, surprisingly short, I'd say.
Yeah, and I was very surprised when I got a notification that Iron Savior has another album out. I'm like, what the hell? He just had one out.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, it's a bit surprising for me as well. But, well, I mean, I guess we come to that later. The circumstances why the wait is just, or the period is just so short, has, well, I would say 3 main reasons. So okay. Should I start with the first reason?
Sure, why not? Let's get right to it.
Well, the first reason actually is that I started songwriting really early this time. Maybe because the last one, Kill or Get Killed, had something like ongoing reverberations or something like this with my energy in, I don't know. Unless, like with other albums, I came back to songwriting really fast. Only a couple of weeks after Kill or Get Killed was finished, I already started to I had the idea for the next song already. Oh, wow. And so by the end of summer last year, before autumn, I already had 4 songs, in a rough version, ready. A couple of ideas during winter time, and. Yeah, so I was set to dig really heavy into songwriting in January again. But then everything came a little bit different because, as you might have picked up, our bass player in January this year was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, and of course that was not really a happy information, to be honest. So that was a really hard bummer and really a bad time. So songwriting was pretty much off the books for that. Unfortunately, luckily, by now, his cancer was, whatever. If there's a light cancer, this was a light cancer. It was a lymphoma, which is quite well treatable. Yeah. And so his options were that he would be cured 100%, and that has happened already. So he is 100% cured by now. He's dealing, of course, with the chemotherapy is quite draining, of course, and so he's dealing with that, restoring his body. But he's in a good mood and he's on a good way, and everything's gonna be fine. So that's good. So. That, of course, was a very uplifting information, and I was just about to start songwriting again. Then came Corona.
Yes.
And, of course, Corona wasn't very uplifting for me as well. Even though I had all the time in the world, I didn't do very much in the studio because I really didn't feel like making happy or uplifting Iron Savior music. And since I also didn't want this album to carry any negativity, I just decided to wait until the mood comes back, which then, of course, happened later in the year, and everything went fine. Yeah. So, coming back to what I said before my long monologue, reason number one, of course, is that songwriting was really fast this year. This time, this was one reason. Reason number two, it was for me it was an aim for me to have this album released in the same year that Jan was diagnosed with this cancer. And so I'm really happy that now we finally made it to have this album released on the 4th of December, which, by the way, is Jan's birthday. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So that's how cool is that?
Yeah, all for Jens, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the third reason, of course, was that, I mean, for me and ourselves, I really wanted this album to happen in this fucked up Corona year, because
right.
that at least something good is happening in this year, and that also is the reason why I really wanted to have it released this year. We could have easily waited till next year and have it released next year in summer or even autumn. Everything would have been okay, but yeah, as I just said, those were the three reasons why it's out now.
Yes, it definitely is out. Well, almost out. A couple more weeks left. But I've been listening to it the last couple of days, and actually today, just before we did this, I listened to it again, and I'm glad you did put it out because it is a very uplifting album, I think. There's a lot of happier type songs in here, and it's just it's really good. And then the other day, I noticed you said it's one of your top favorite Iron Savior albums.
It is, yeah. No doubt about that. I think this is the best work I have delivered so far in my career.
Really?
I don't know if everybody shares this, but honestly, I don't care. I know that for myself. And if someone likes the album or not, or thinks it's the best album or not, he has to decide for himself. Why is it doing this?
Why do you keep hitting me? What are you doing?
What the hell is it that the phone starts to dim down all the time?
Oh, you got to keep the what do you call it? The time. There's like a brightness timer, or not a brightness timer, like when it times out. When you should have that off. Although it shouldn't do it. Are you plugged in?
No, but I did that yesterday. I did the same. I mean, I had 5 hours of interviews, and I did that all the time. I never did that.
It's just
anyways, so if I do that, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll go like this. It looks like you're hitting me.
I
asked a stupid question. You just hit me.
No, I think the songwriting is definitely, it's 100% on point for me. Also, not only the songwriting, also the way the songs are, the arrangement of the song. I think the production itself, the sound is even if I don't want to sound stupid or arrogant, but for me it's mind blowing. I really love the sound, fucking hell, and I think also the mixture of the songs, the variety that the album is offering. Just look at a track like Silver Bullet and Raise the Flag next to each other. Both is working. It has a wide span of different types of Iron Savior, put it like this.
Yeah.
And I think also that the songs, how they are arranged on the album, the track listing is awesome. I mean, they blend into each other and build up on each other just perfect for me. And those are the reasons why I think this album is a real killer. I thought the last one was really good already, but I'd say Skycrest is at least, in my books, plus 30%.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I love the Killer Get Killed album. That one really stood out to me. Also, too, because it sounded a little bit different from the previous albums. And this one, I think you kind of went back to how you would normally produce an Iron Savior. Like the last one had a different sound. Like the guitar is a different sound, right?
Well, yes and no. The last one actually was done. The guitars were done with an amp simulation. That's probably the difference. And this time I came back to recording with a real speaker and a real amp again.
Yeah. So that's why I could tell there's a difference. That this is like the Iron Savior sound. The other one was a little bit different. Yeah. So that's cool. I noticed that right away. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool songs. When I was listening to it earlier, Skycrest is awesome. That's the second song. When I listen to it on my phone, I can't see the names of the titles of the song.
Well, the first song is the intro. It's not really a song. It's the
Right,
it's
that's
the intro.
The Guardian, right?
Yeah, the Guardian, exactly. And the opening track
The Skycrest.
is Skycrest. Yes.
Yeah, that one's awesome. I love the chorus in that one, and then probably my favorite off the album is "Our Time Has Come." I really love how that chorus comes in, and typical Iron Savior fashion. It's just awesome. And one thing I noticed, you have somebody else singing "Ease Your Pain." Who was singing that song?
Yeah, that's Jan singing, our bass
Okay.
player. He also wrote this song, and of course, it's obvious. It's it's about his personal situation during his let's say dark months in this year when he didn't know where he was heading to, and it's not really about himself. You're a native speaker. You probably pick up what it's about, but not everybody is a native speaker, and so it is about. It's not about himself. It's about his girlfriend and how this affected his relation. And it was even harder for him to see her suffer than dealing with his own, pain.
Right. Yeah. It's a very good song. He's a really good singer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And since he was he composed it and he also wrote the lyrics, it was clear to me that he also would have to sing it. And he was a little afraid that because he didn't do singing in a long time. I know that he did. I know that he's a very good singer, but honestly, I was a bit surprised as well how good he in the end performed this song.
Yeah,
I think it's just it's really awesome. I really like his voice, the sound of his voice, and also the range. The power he still has, and it's a really good song. If you're into ballads, it's a good one, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely really. I don't mind ballads. Ballads are cool with me, as long as they're good. And this one's a very good ballad. The other thing I noticed too, "Raise the Flag," very very Judas Priest inspired song.
Well, I'd say it's more an Accept inspired song.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah. It's more Accept.
Now that you mentioned that to me, I can hear Accept in the guitars, but the way you deliver the vocal, like the verse vocal, I hear Bloodstone.
You hear Bloodstone?
Yeah, I do. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong song, but I hear the way Rob Halford sings the verses for Bloodstone. I hear that in that verse.
Well, of course. Of course, Rob is a very big influence on it's an open secret. So yeah, I always tend to sound like Rob when I sing because. But honestly, I more or less try to sound a little bit like Bon Scott on this one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Obviously, I did not succeed.
Well, vocally, okay, yes. But yeah, now that you mentioned that, yeah, I can hear that. And speaking of AC/DC, what do you think of the new album?
I think it's actually very good. I was a little bit surprised because I didn't expect that. I mean, the last two albums, all the last albums didn't thrill me too much. I must say. No, they were well. There's nothing wrong with those past albums, but they just never got me by the balls that much, And I think, but the new one really does. It's an awesome album with some cool stuff on it.
What is it? Well, because I'm going to be reviewing this later with the other guy I do the show with, and we're both kind of like indifferent about it. We're just kind of like, I don't know. But what do you feel is so good about the album?
It's really hard to say. I think. It's I think the songwriting and the riffing is actually a bit more. I mean, it's totally 100% AC/DC, but it's a little bit different than on the previous albums. I think the way Brian Johnson is performing also, I don't know. It's in the end, it's fresher for me, and maybe it's because of the long wait, because there wasn't anything from AC/DC, and it was uncertain if they would ever do a new album again. And so everybody now here they are, and everybody's happy, and it's a good one. So I think that is adding up in the end. Why you like the album?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know. There's some songs I like, and then there's other stuff I'm just like, all right, it's AC/DC. I love AC/DC, but I've heard this already, and it just, I don't know. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I mean, that happened on the last on the albums before with me that it's not really bad, but
It's
it
not
goes
terrible.
here. No, it goes here and it goes there because you heard it 100 times before.
Yeah.
And of course, there's stuff on the new one which has the same,
Yeah.
Man, this sucks.
Sorry.
But on the other hand, I don't know. It's something. It's for me. It's really also hard to say. I can't exactly say why. But it's just like that. It's maybe just an emotion more or less than a scientific exploitation about the new album.
Yeah. What do you think is better, the new AC/DC or the new Iron Savior?
Of course, the new Iron Savior, dude. How can you ask?
I know that was a stupid question. Come on, even I know that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to say, if you ask me what is the best band in the world, I always say Iron Savior. Because and I say no. It's for a very simple reason. I mean, Iron Savior is my personal definition of heavy metal. This is how I hear this music.
Yeah.
If I would hear it differently, I would do it differently with my band.
Yeah.
But this for me is 100% the kind of metal I love. So naturally, Iron Savior is the best band in the world for me. It would be sad if it would be different.
Right. Yes. Exactly. So like I said, the new album is really great, and I can't wait to get an actual copy of it. Who's doing the artwork? The same guy that always does all the artwork, or?
Yeah, actually, it's the same guy, even though the artwork looks completely different this time, which I think is a good thing because, I really like all those, all the cover and all the artworks we had with intergalactical incidences. Let's put it like this, but I think this one is actually a journalist yesterday said, and there is some truth in that he's reminded of the very early days of Iron Savior. And if you look at the debut album, the Iron Savior, of course, there's only this logo on it, and in a way, it's true. If you also look at the interlude album, but of course, that wasn't on my mind when I created this artwork. Actually, the story to the artwork is kind of funny because at the beginning, the artwork was based on the song Hellbreaker.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be a soldier, martial gunfighting, with space guns, whatever, and quite drastic stuff, I had in mind. But in the end, it got too complicated. If you look at the lyrics later on, you know what I mean. Right. But that was just too complicated to achieve what I had on mind. So. And realizing that, and on the other hand, finishing up the song Skycrest and finding out, wow, it's a really cool song. Yeah. I changed my mind 5 minutes to midnight and renamed the album from Hellbreaker, which that was the original title I had planned out, to Skycrest, and also changed the artwork approach totally. And so within a week or so, we realized this new artwork, and I think it's a killer. I love it. It looks just awesome on t-shirts and stuff like this. Yeah. And I don't know, I think it looks really heavy and solid, or I don't know how to describe it, but I'm in love with this artwork. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. You don't have no like weird creatures or anything in front, just that big what is that, like a crest or something, or like a metal medallion type thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, metal crest, shield, whatever,
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's awesome. And they got the logo on there. It's awesome. And like that, like you said, the other guy said, I mean, the first album was like a plain album cover, and this kind of just like brings it full circle in a way almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool shit. Who did it? Did you say that?
Yeah, it's the same guy who did all the other artworks. Felipe Machado Franco, our friend from Colombia.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
Yeah.
It looks like a Felipe artwork. Yes, it does. I should have known that.
There's blue. There's red and blue in it.
Yeah.
He just loves red and blue.
Yes, he does. Actually, I have another friend from another band called Timeless Haunt, and they just used Felipe for their album cover, and he actually used green in their album.
He did. Wow.
Yes,
oh.
A different color.
Hell.
It came out really cool.
Unbelievable. I have to talk to him. He never used green with us.
And it's funny too. He did make two versions. One was red and one was green.
Yeah. Okay.
But both are cool. So he's a cool guy. I gotta get him back on the show.
Yeah. He's a really super nice guy, and it's well, I mean, he's really so much into this Iron Savior stuff, and we're always on. We're always connected, and so if I have an idea, he usually can visualize what I'm saying pretty nice, Also, the Hellbreaker, if we would have had more time and would have dig more into it, he probably would have come up with a cool artwork as well. But anyway, I'm happy that I made this change on the last minute because I think it was really worth it, and the new artwork is definitely. It's a killer. I love it.
Yeah. You think maybe use the other artwork at another later time?
Actually, it is used in the album within the booklet. So if you once have the booklet, you will find out what the original artwork was supposed to look like a little bit.
I'm curious now because actually I got all the stuff in there, all the pictures and stuff. I'll have to find it later. Oh, here it is. But I'll have to go through the pictures and see. That's really cool. All right, so actually, also too, after I had you on the show last year, I had a band on. And you should remember this because you did one of their albums, Twisted Tower Dire.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's a long time ago. Hell
Very
yeah!
long time ago. How was it working with them?
That was cool and interesting, I'd say. I remember working with Tony, with the singer. He was a really nice guy. I know that. Unfortunately, I think he died a couple of years ago.
He passed away.
It was a motorcycle accident or something like this. Wasn't it?
Something like. Yeah, I think it was an accident-related thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So sad story about that. But yeah, he was a very good, dedicated singer. All of the bands were pretty cool. The drummer was a little bit weird. Weird is probably the wrong word, but. Well, put it like this: he had his own mind,
Right.
And but in the end, I think we created a very nice and really cool album. And if I remember back now, his weirdness on the drums actually inspired me later on. Well, really, let's say 10, 15 years later, and some of the weird grooves which appeared. A little bit useless to me. I picked up on 10, 15 years later and remembered, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he was quite a person, I'd say.
What was one of the favorite bands that you recorded? Do you have like a favorite one?
Iron Savior, of course. They always
besides
do what
Iron
I say.
Savior.
They always do what I say. That's the good thing about it.
The singer does anyway, at least, right?
Yeah, the singer can be a bit bitchy, but that's okay. Sometimes he speaks up, but I can handle him, Well, no, I mean, I really always love to work with Paragon. It's one of my favorite bands. I also like to work with Storm Warrior. I mean, that's because we know each other, and it's like I always enjoyed working with Kai, of course, on the Gamma Ray albums. And I think, but honestly, I think what stayed most on my mind in terms of production when I was. Of course, was the period when I was working with Blind Guardian. I'm really proud of that. That I do play a role for all these albums. Like the Tales, Somewhere, Imaginations, and also the Nightfall. Those 4 albums of, I think, for my taste, still the best stuff that the Blind Guardian has delivered so far.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm quite proud to be part of this. And also the production, though it was quite tiring sometimes. And was very challenging, and I gained a lot from that for my entire life. So yeah, that's something I really remember with warm and mixed feelings.
Do you have a band that you like could not stand to work with? There's somebody that just like gave you a lot of problems or anything?
Well, no, not. I don't have a band which I really hated. I mean, there have been bands who have been a little bit problematic to handle. And one of those bands were these French guys, Heavenly, because they the biggest problem with them was not they well, put it like this: when they came to the studio, they had all these really, really weird and totally wrong lyrics, because they were French, and and I really had to correct a lot, and that of course was a bit problematic with the guys because they thought, wow, we're so cool, it's the best stuff, we're great the way we are. What do you want, Pete? It is a very good lyric here. What do you change the stuff? And I said, because it's not right, because it is grammatically wrong, and it sounds ridiculous if you say it like this. Honestly, if I wouldn't have corrected this, wow, no. Anyways, but so that was a bit, heavy, I'd say, to talk them into changing their lyrics. But at that time, I was a young man. It was 20 years ago, and or maybe my patience wasn't as good as it is now, and maybe I was a little bit too demanding towards them. But finally, in the end, I think we also created a great album, and the first Heavenly album still is a heavy metal classic by now. So nothing to complain about that. So no, I cannot really say that I really have a bad band which I would never want to work again with. It's not.
Yeah, that's funny. When I saw the Heavenly album and I looked on the back and it said who produced it, whatever, and I saw it was you, I had to immediately get it because I knew what I was going to be in for. So that that was cool seeing that. You never worked with them again, though, right?
No, because I interfere too much with their art. That's why they decided to have somebody else do the next album. Or
yeah, they're all right on their own. Actually, they're coming back, I believe. Or
I haven't been hearing from them in really a long time. I was following their career a little bit, but I can't even remember when they put out their last album. It's years and years ago.
It's got to be at least maybe 10 years, if that.
Yeah,
in a while.
So actually, I didn't even know that they are still existing.
Yeah, not too long ago on their Facebook, they were posting stuff. They were, working on a new album, but that was like maybe a year or two ago. So who knows what's going on? Hopefully, they get something done. They got time now. Nobody's doing anything now. There's no tours.
Exactly.
Although I saw you do have something coming up soon. Is it an online show or something?
Yeah, it's an online event, and we're part of that. That's that's a quite important show for us. It is the first show since the Corona lockdown situation that we're playing, and it's the first show we're going to play with Jan again, our bass player.
Oh, okay.
And we had some shows in the last year before, and this year before the Corona came, and where we had somebody else doing the part for Jan because we couldn't cancel these shows, and so we played it with a guest musician. And the funny, it's not the funny thing, but let's say the emotional important thing is that actually this event, the Birthday Bash, that's the name of it, or the Ballroom Birthday Bash, it's an annual thing, and we played on that Ballroom Birthday Bash this year in January, and that was the last show we did with Jan. After that, he got his diagnose, and so kind of like a circle that closes. That now this is the first show we play with him again.
Yeah, right. You're doing a lot of circling on this album.
Absolutely. And that's probably also one reason why it is for me personally the best album, because there's so much happening in this album. There's also so much happening in the sub area, put it like this, which is under the surface, which probably somebody who just listens to the album it's not picking up right away. Let's put it like this, But but for me, it's there, and for me, it makes this album so super special. And because of also the other very good things that happened on it.
Like what? What else you got?
Well, I mean, yeah, as I said before, I mean, this I think the songwriting. I had a very lucky hand with the songwriting, and a lot of I had a very lucky hand with the production. And actually, those are things you cannot plan ahead. You know, they just happen, and you need a little bit of a helping hand and or call it luck or whatever. And this, for me, this has happened on Skycrest, and this does not happen on every album, but it did happen on this one, and that's why this is so special to me.
Yeah. Now, seeing that this is one of your favorite ones, is there one that you have it's like a least favorite of yours out of the Iron Savior albums?
Well, I'm always a little bit not disappointed. That's the wrong word, but first of all, I have to say that I'm really proud on the fact that even though that there are albums who are not as good as this one, there is no really bad album with Iron Savior. We never put out a bad album.
Yeah, I will definitely agree with you. And not just because you're here, but I agree.
No, all our albums do have a certain standard, you know, and it never drops below that. And that is something that we're really proud of, that we kept up this quality level for such a long time. One album I would do differently from looking back now is the Dark Assault album. I'm not happy with it. I'm happy with the songs who are on them. I'm not happy with the production. I think there's too much rooms on the drums, for example, which sounds in a way, of course, impressive, but on the other hand, it gets a little bit annoying if you listen to it. So the sound, in a way, is impressive, but also a little bit annoying. So that I would do differently. But I do like the songs on the album, and if I think of Made of Metal or I've Been to Hell, Predators, Firing the Guns, what comes to my mind as well is Seek and Destroy. So there's this awesome stuff on there. Yeah. But the production is lacking a little bit.
Yeah. So you ever think that you might re-record that one again, like you did, what was it, Megatropolis, right?
Well, Megatropolis wasn't re-recorded. Megatropolis was remixed.
Oh, remixed. Okay. All
right. And some stuff was added because Megatropolis also was a special album. I did that right after those Savage Circus things I've been doing, and well, to make Iron Savior and Savage Circus a little bit more, distinguishable from each other. I cut back pretty much on this Megatropolis album with harmony vocals, choir stuff, and also overdubbed lead guitars, lead melodies, So I thought it's a good idea to have this album Megatropolis more straightforward rock and roll like, and that never. A year later, I already started to regret that. And then when AFM called me a couple of years ago and said, "Hey, we're out of Megatropolis and we're going to reprint," I said, "Wait a minute! If you reprint, I will hand you a new master." And so I had the chance actually to correct those errors and put on all these. The missing backing vocals and the missing harmony guitars and stuff like that. So and that's why there's a Megatropolis and a Megatropolis 2.0, and the 2.0 version is the one that I like. But actually, it was more or less remixed, not re-recorded. But of course, the Reforged series, which we initiated with the Reforged Riding on Fire. That is something that we're going to pick up next year. It's in the books for next year because it was received very well, and the problem is still there. We have no access to all our back catalog. It still sits with some major companies in their drawers and rots as it sits there. And so we're going to pick the next 20 songs or so and put them on the Reforged Volume 2.
Oh, cool. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I also have to mention that 2021, of course, is the 10th anniversary of the landing, and so of course we're going to do something about that as well.
Boy, just take all my money now, why don't you?
Yeah. Of course, I cannot say at this time what this would be, what we would do to the landing, but what I can say already is that it's quite cool.
Dance remix?
It would be stupid. Well, let's see.
Oh no! You're not gonna do like a.
Well, it's well, you know, it's with the landing. I'm because the landing is the landing. You know, it's for some people, it's really. Also, some people were complaining a little bit of that I was changing Megatropolis. You know, and of course, I will not change anything about the landing because the landing is the landing. I will not re-record it or put new stuff on it or alter the material. No.
Yeah.
So now you can make up your mind what that could be, what I would do to it. But
I'm anticipating that release very much. With the Skycrest, is there any like sort of because I haven't seen any pre-orders yet. I have to go search online. But is there any new bundles or anything? Because I remember with the last one you had like a little box set and all this stuff. So anything?
Yeah, we have a cool box set as well. The box set will contain a nice T-shirt, autograph cards, all signed manually by us, not with a machine. We did that really. What else is in there? We think, there are some lyric sheets, handwritten. I mean, not handwritten. They have been reproduced, but I wrote them once, and then they got reproduced and put in there. Then there's a little. It's a badge. No, patch. No, badge. A badge, actually. A badge. So something like a, like a Marshall Star or something, with the Skycrest. It looks really cool. It looks really solid and really cool. And we have an Iron Savior toothbrush in there.
A toothbrush? What the hell came up with that?
Well, yeah, I like that. It's when we're in the meeting and discussing what should be part of the box, we did some brainstorming and I said toothbrush, just as a joke, of course, But people in the meeting said, "Yeah, toothbrush, why not?" And because we wouldn't be Iron Savior if we were not into this shit. It's a totally senseless and useless item, but
you could use it,
it's
but
cool.
you don't want it.
No, you don't want it. But who can say, "Hey, we have a toothbrush as a merchandise article"?
Yeah. Right. I don't think there's any band. Everybody's into wines, and now Iron Savior's into toothbrushes. That's
absolutely.
Actually, speaking of wine, you guys ever think of making a wine or anything? Because everybody's into that now.
Wine?
Yeah.
No.
Or beer? Anything? I bet a Corona. You're drinking Corona. What about a Iron Savior?
Actually, we were thinking of coming up with an Iron Savior bathroom collection now that we have our toothbrush. There's all kinds of stuff. There's toothpaste. There's maybe we have an Iron Savior foam or whatever.
Yeah,
or
shaving
Iron Savior
foam.
shampoo, for example.
Yeah. We don't need it. That would be cool. There's some idea. I gave you some ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank me for that. So I'm gonna have to go and look. Is that available on the record label's website, or is that anywhere?
Yeah, I think it's only available on the record label's website, and because there are only 333 made of these, so it's totally limited.
Jesus,
and so that's why you won't find it also on Amazon. And I do think that most of the stuff is already sold. So if you want one, maybe you or some listener, viewer, backlash, I wouldn't hesitate to order.
What is the website it's on? Is it?
The website is it's AFM.
Yeah.
It's www. AFM dot AFM minus it's AFM minus records.de.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think that is it. Yes, it is it.
And then, of course, then that's the page of the label, and then you also could. I think they also offered it in English, and you can easily maneuver to the shop or just search for the artist, and it'll get you there.
Yes. Oh, here it is, right here. Yes, I'm looking at it now as we're doing this. So I hope, hopefully, there's some left over because I do want to grab one. I missed the last one, so I don't want to miss this one. Any bonus tracks on this new album?
No bonus tracks because we're not doing. There's no limited edition. It's just one version. Actually, I've never seen the use of a limited edition before, and even on the last one, on the Kill or Get Killed, there was no limited edition. It also was just one version, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the formats are, of course, CD. Then we have. You're on the page already.
Yeah.
I hope you see that we have different formats of vinyl and the box set, and of course all the online digital versions for sure.
Oh yeah, here's the box set. Yeah, not too bad. Are they even shipping though out of to the United States? I'll have to find out.
I don't know. I mean, but hey, you have connections. You can ask Dustin.
I could do that. I'll find out. All right. Well, everything been safe with you since the coronavirus?
Yeah, so far we're all good here. Nobody caught it, and so we just. It's. We could talk for hours now about the insanity which is going on in the world. I think we better just don't start with this.
Yes, I was gonna bring something else up, but maybe I won't.
Well,
about our
the president. That's the next thing we could talk about for hours.
You did a lot of posting on Facebook about him.
Yeah, I did because even though, of course, I'm not American, but my mother lived for over 30 years in San Francisco, and my stepfather actually is born in California, and so I do have connections to the United States, and I do feel entitled to say at least a little bit, because I was reading, you stupid Germans, stay home. What is America? There's none of your business what we're doing here. I said, I can't understand this. I mean, how can you claim for world leadership and then tell anybody else, well, it's not of anyone's business here what president we have? The whole world is affected by what president you have over there, And so I think in a way, everybody, of course, is entitled to say something to that. Well, but I think the biggest problem is not really Trump. The biggest problem, Trump is just a symptom, and if you ask me. The biggest problem, and this is this divide you have, the rip that goes through your society, and that has been there a long time before Trump, even a long time before Obama. And I think it's probably also deriving from your political system with only those two parties. That was always something as a European or a German, which I never understood. Well, how can you live with only two parties? It's and because they both suck, which most of the time is the case, then it's and that is also the reason why so many people are not voting. Because they have the choice between pestilence and cholera,
Right. Yeah.
And because Trump, for my obviously sucks, and it's good that he's not running a second term because it's good for the world, For now, yeah. Well, I think he did a good job in making himself so ridiculous that I don't think at the time it is likely that he'll return in 4 years. I think even his Republican friends understood that this guy is mad.
Yeah. Well, they all are. They're, he's not a politician, but they all end up being mad.
I mean, in 4 years he's going to be really old as well.
Yeah.
And,
well, so's the guy that we got now. So, or apparently we have now. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. And this guy never would have become president if there wasn't Trump. It's not that people voted for Biden because they love Biden so much. No, they voted for Biden because they hated Trump so much. That's the reason why Biden is your president. Anyways, I hope that those 4 years you're looking ahead are can be used to calm things down a little bit and work on this rip that goes through your society and bring people together at least a little bit more. Yeah. That would be something that I think is the most important thing. But of course, therefore, everybody has to be open-minded to and willing to do so. You know, if you are. If you stay with your with your views and not moving at all, then of course nothing will happen. So let's see that. But I do have the hope that the new administration could bring in a little bit of, well, let's say, normality again. You know.
Yeah. It's been this whole year between the Corona thing and then with the presidency and it's just been a shit show the whole year.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree on that. I think everybody agrees on that.
Yeah. And now I don't know how things are going by you, but now they're already talking about maybe starting to lock things down again. So what's it like by you?
We're locked. Yeah, we already are locked down again.
Oh wow.
We are locked down since 2nd of November. Shops are open. Bars, restaurants, hotels closed. Gyms closed, movie theaters closed. So all the places where people are basically gathering are closed.
Yeah.
And the results are not so thrilling, to be honest. Infection rates are not increasing. That is what we have achieved within 3 weeks of this lockdown, but they're not going down. Because. I don't know. I think the people by now are really tired of all this and are just not doing it as much as they did in March or April when we had the first lockdown.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not as strict. And so, today there was just a meeting with all our. Well, we are a federal system, so all the leaders from the different states and the central government met today and decided that it's going to be prolonged until, I think the 23rd, also one day before Christmas, and then for Christmas and New Year's we're going to have, yay, we can meet with 10 people, wow, and have Christmas celebrations. And this then ends again in 1st of January.
Oh my God!
So, anyways, we can talk about this for hours, and we could find things bad or right or wrong or whatever. It won't change anything. No. It will be like it is. And what I do is I just sit and wait until the shit is over because there's not so much I can do about it.
Yeah.
And I really hope that those vaccines, which are on the edge now, are working out, and that by, let's see, maybe spring next year, February, end of February, March, we could see some light at the end of the tunnel with this.
Hopefully. Let's get this over with and done. We got to get you back on stage so people can see and hear the new album. Right?
It really sucks by now, I must say. I mean, we're not a band who plays a lot of shows, for example, my friends from Private Fear or Destruction who play like hundreds of shows each year. Yeah. We're not doing this, but still with our 20 or 30 shows we play a year, we miss them. We miss the contact with the fans, performing on stage, seeing those faces. Feeling the energy, honestly, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this online show with mixed feelings. I have no idea how this will turn out because it's like playing in a little bit on a TV show with no audience,
Right. Yeah. So that's going to be live, right?
It's going to be live.
It's going to be live. Okay. It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
a lot of bands are doing it, so yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, by now it's it's the only way how you can do stuff, and so. But I'm not complaining. We're happy that this at least is something we can do, and that we are able to do this, and hopefully a lot of people will click in.
Yeah, I hope so.
And we're planning also to have some interactions with the fans as much as possible. So might use Facebook, to get at least reactions. Of course not real, not real time reactions, but we play a song, and after the song or one song later, people can react to with Facebook's post stuff, show little videos, and that of course will be somehow worked into that show, so that we at least get a little bit of response from the bands. That's the idea behind that.
Cool.
Let's see if that's working out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Did you hear the Kiss is doing a live show? I think it's a live show, right? In Dubai.
No, I haven't heard.
You didn't hear
Dubai.
They're going all the way to Dubai. And do an internet show.
Yeah, but I think in Dubai isn't that in Dubai is no corona? Is that
probably not? Who knows? But
I don't know. I think that's the reason, because there's supposed to be no corona in Dubai or in the Emirates or no corona.
I'm sure. Yeah, but
too hot
for corona. But they're selling tickets to that thing, and they're like just astronomically ridiculous. I think there's $299 is the cheapest ticket for an online show.
For an online show, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's No, I guess we're a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Let's say I think we are about $290 cheaper.
Which is, makes sense, but hey, it's Kiss.
Yeah, it's Kiss, of course. Yeah.
Oh boy. Anyway.
$299. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Oh, there's like 4 different packages. One's $299, another one's like I think $500, and then I think there's a $1,000 package.
Yeah, with meet and greet, online meet and greet.
Probably something like that. If you can only be Kiss status,
that would help.
One day.
One day, yeah.
So, do you now, with the lockdown, with you guys in the lockdown, do you think are you going to start writing the next album? That's going to be released next year? What's any ideas for the next album?
No, I think right now I really need a break from songwriting. I really feel that, of course, I do have ideas and some riffs, but now I really want to take half a year off from songwriting, because I think it is cool to have the releases not too much apart from each other. But this was, but if you are too fast, that also is not good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think this is a little bit the case with this album, because the last one is still on the minds of people,
mm-hmm.
and so the urge for a new Iron Savior album wasn't as high as it usually is if we wait for, let's say, 2.5 years, with the next release. But anyways, we covered that earlier. This album had to come out this year, and so that's why it is,
Yeah.
But I think the next one I will take a little bit more time. As we just talked about, we have some interlude stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
We have this Reforged series we're working on. We have the Landing reissue, and so I think this also takes time to do, and so
I'm gonna be busy doing all that stuff.
Yeah, so once this is done, then I can of course go back and write new material for the new album. But that won't probably happen before end of next year.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Good. Let people focus on the last album and this new one, and give us some time to take it all in.
Yeah.
And then by that time happens, you'll be back on stage and you'll be playing all the live shows again.
Yep.
Favorite song off the new album? Do you have one, or is just the whole entire album your favorite?
Yes, it is. It was, and no kidding, it was for us really hard to pick songs to be the online singles, because for me, actually, maybe the ballad is a little bit out of there, but all of the songs do have potentials to be online singles,
Yeah.
If you take Silver Bullet, for example, which is the fastest song, but that also would work as an online single. The Highlander story, There Only Can Be One would have worked. Also, Welcome to the New World would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been also nice to have this out before the election. I was actually thinking about this a little bit. Also Raise the Flag would have been a cool song to put that out. With Raise the Flag, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning. I have to come back to Raise the Flag because it's also a special song for me. As you might have noticed, or maybe not because you just looked at it briefly while we were talking, it's not on the vinyl version. And that is because one song, of course, the album was too long, and to make good vinyl, of course, you have to cut down a little bit in the running time.
Yeah.
So one song had to go, and I choose. And at this time, I'm a little bit split mind with Raise the Flag, or was split mind. When I first initially wrote it, I thought it's a really cool song and I love it. And after the vocals were done, I loved it even more. And but then somehow, I don't know what happened. I got insecure about this song because it's about heavy metal and so on and so forth. And for me, if you do a song like this with those kind of lyrics, it has to be 100%. Otherwise, it's cheesy and ridiculous. You just cannot do that, you know. And I was thinking back of when I was thinking about the lyrics for Heavy Metal Never Dies. I thought for weeks and months, can you really do this? Is it okay to have this line, Heavy Metal Never Dies? Can you really do it, or will the mob eat you up? You know, if you do that. And I had the same doubts arose with me with Raise the Flag, and so I thought, oh no, you have Heavy Metal Never Dies, and that is untouchable. You cannot do this. It can only remain a lame copy of heavy metal. So I'll make it a Japanese bonus track. All right, see ya. And I was determined to do that, and that's why it's not on the vinyl. But then my family came on and made an intervention and said, "Papa, are you crazy? This is a really super cool song, and we love it, and you have to put it on the album." So they kind of like insisted that I bring it back to the album, which I rejected at the beginning. But of course, I started thinking about it, and in the end, I thought, "What the fuck? I will simply do it." You had the same doubts with the heavy metal, and you did it, and it worked out nicely. And just believe in the gods, it will work.
Yeah.
And so I had the guts to actually put it back on the album. And honestly, right now, I feel so happy having done so, because I think this song is just awesome. It definitely would be on the live show.
Yeah.
It's a killer. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I will say, you, out of all, like a lot of bands that write songs about heavy metal, yes, they're like, some of them are so cheesy, it's like, you know. But
you can't listen to them sometimes.
Exactly.
It's embarrassing. You know,
Right.
You listen to it and say, "Ow, it hurts. Stop it."
It's funny because, you know, my wife, she doesn't like metal at all, but we'll listen. I'll sit in the car and a song will come on, and if anything's about heavy metal or something, she just starts dying laughing. But you are the king of writing songs about heavy metal, because your songs about, you know, writing about heavy metal are good. You know, they're not cheesy, you know, and I'm glad you decided to listen to your family and, you know, leave this song on the album, because it is a very good song. You know, like you said, you got the Bon Scott thing in there, you got the Judas Priest, you got the Accept thing in there, so it's all cool. It's good. And you are the king of writing heavy metal songs, to me. So keep it up.
Oh, wow, thanks. Yeah, well, I mean, I try to be as well as not cheesy as possible, always.
Yeah, no, I think you accomplished that with this. So all is good. But let me see, anything else here? Where the hell's the album up? I lost it. Oh, well, I'm sorry. All right, well, that's pretty much it, I guess. All right, you know, I can't think of anything else to talk to you about. I don't want to waste your time. It's probably late, too, by you know.
Well, it's okay. It's 9 p.m., so it's okay.
All right. Well, I got a book of
when
questions.
When we're done, I will return. I will head out to the sofa and watch a series with the family, and then someone later on go to bed.
Anything? What are you watching lately? Anything good?
Yeah, actually, I really love the new Discovery. It's really cool shit, I think.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
The new Star Trek.
Oh, I'm not into Star Trek.
Mm. I am.
Star Wars.
Huh?
Star Wars. That's
Well,
Star Trek.
I mean, you can have both kinds, country and Western, so that's okay for me. I'm into Star Wars and Star Trek. Of course, watching Mandalorian, of course, I think that's it's really cool. It was a bit hard for me in the beginning to catch up because I wouldn't say it was a little bit lame on the beginning, but it needed a couple of episodes for me to really getting into this Mandalorian thing. And now that's good. But once it caught my interest, I really love it. So that's a good series. And well, I mean, new Star Trek Discovery is really cool shit. I really love it, I must say. But
I mean, one of these days I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. I actually haven't even watched The Mandalorian yet. I started watching 2 episodes the other day, but my son was upstairs. He was watching with me. He was kind of getting into it because he saw Baby Yoda, so he was liking that. But he was too busy doing his other thing, so he was kind of like too loud. So I have to rewatch it. But everybody's raving about it. So, but now I have to watch New Discovery. I've watched very little Star Trek, so I'll give it a shot. If you say it's good, I'll watch it.
It is good, yeah, and it's. So then you also didn't see Picard?
Nope. I'm not a huge TV watcher. I'm doing this podcast. I'm busy, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I do watch TV. It's in the evening, because during the day I do music all the time, and so in the evening I need something non-music, something which is not music, and that most of the time is because. Reading it's too tiring. If I have worked all day in the studio, I really can't read a book in the evening. That is something I only can do when I have some time off, when I'm on vacation, and then I usually read books or in bed, 5 minutes before I turn off the light, I read a book then, and after 3 pages, okay, I think it's time to turn off the lights now.
3 pages, I get to like a sentence and my eyes are falling asleep.
It's great books. It's great books because they really last for ages,
Yeah.
And cool. But that's why we usually watch TV in the evenings.
Yeah.
And I mean, with Netflix and Prime and Apple and blah 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 blah. I mean, actually, with TV series, it's a little bit like with music releases. To be honest, there's so many series out there, and you cannot dig through them.
Yeah.
And it's really you start so many stupid series, and then you watch 2 or 3 episodes just to find out that they are crap. And but by the time I really have a system how to find out whether a series is worth to start on it, either which in general, and the system is very simple. I look which year it got produced. If it's produced like a year ago, and there's only 2 seasons out there, and there wasn't a 3rd season made, then it's crap. And I don't watch it because because usually that's what you make 2 seasons and see how it works, and if it's not performing well, then there's no 3rd season, and if there's no 3rd season, I don't want to waste time on that. Right. So I only watch shows with more than 2 seasons. At least I know them. Okay, of course, there's always exceptions from the rule. Yeah. If it's stuff that I really know, it's great, or somebody has really pointed out to me, you have to watch this, like I now, for example, do with the New Discovery. I give it a shot, even though it's only 2 series, 2 seasons.
But you're a Trekkie, so I get that. I've been getting. You can say yes or no. It's fine. I've been getting people together. I play drums, so I've been trying to get people together to do cover songs, just for the hell of it, because we're all doing kind of nothing. Would you like to be a part of a cover song one day and do vocals?
Yeah, sure. Why not? If it's a cool cover song, and if it's not something I cannot perform or sound ridiculous on, then yeah, sure, why not?
No, it'll be something totally easy, because I don't want something
sure
like.
You're gonna see No, I'm quite sure you're going to pick something that would be
Yes. Yeah. No.
pleasing for me.
Yeah. No. I would. Yeah. 'Cause me too. I don't want to sit there learning a song for a year. So
Yeah,
something
exactly.
easy. But I'll contact you
cool,
about
yeah.
that sometime. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got we're doing a Van Halen song, an Iron Maiden song. What else are we doing? Got two other ones. I forget what they are. Oh, Grand Funk Railroad, and I forget what the other one is. But yeah, I'll talk to you about it offline, and we'll work something out.
Yeah,
That'd be
cool.
really, very cool. Well, Pete, thank you very much for coming back on the show. I really enjoyed you coming on here and talking about the new Iron Savior Skycrest album. Everybody, please go buy that.
Absolutely.
Right.
I underline this, I'd say.
Yes, please go buy it online. And what is your actually the way you listen to music? Are you a digital guy? Are you a CD guy, record guy?
No, CDs. I don't listen to CDs anymore. I don't even have a CD player in my car anymore.
Wow.
If I listen to digital, I listen most of the time through my iPhone. Taking it, either hooking up to the car or listening with headphones. But 2 years ago, I actually bought a turntable. And I have and I've really got back all my old vinyls, which I still had down in the basement. And well, since we're putting out all the Iron Savior stuff on vinyl, and having all the old vinyls, I came back to vinyl, and every not basically every evening, but every once in a while, I pull out a nice vinyl and put it on my turntable and listen to it the very good old way, and that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. What's the last one you've listened to?
Well, now you don't know that it's a really old German band from the early '80s, Bauergarn and Dyke. They were only known here in Hamburg. So, but well, I mean, I've been listening to all my old records. Album, which I think it's still great stuff, which is on there. I have all my old Priest records, of course, listening to that. So yeah, it's all there, all the old Saxon stuff. I had it all, man.
It sounds like you got a good collection over there.
I even had Sex Pistols. Never mind the Bollocks. I still own this album.
Oh wow, very cool. And any are you going to release maybe the old Iron Savior albums, like the first album, the second album, on vinyl?
No, not possible, because we don't own the rights.
I still don't own the rights to those either. Oh, gonna have to do something about that, maybe.
Yeah, the only thing that we can do about it is re-record them.
Re-record them, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
But I mean, never say never. But somebody also asked me, how wouldn't that be cool if I would re-record all albums in their entity, in their entireness, record the debut with all songs in one go, then re-record
It's a lot of work.
and re-record Dark Assault, yeah. Would be, yeah, that's really a lot of work. Yeah. I don't think that I'm going to do that, but it is not a very bad idea, to be honest. And if we would have known that the Reforged would have been appreciated so well, we probably might have chosen this over just collecting songs and making, so to speak, re-recording compilations, if you want to put it like this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe at one point when all songs are really re-recorded, then of course we can reassemble the old albums with all the songs.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Again, thank you very much, Pete, for coming on the show.
I really appreciate it. Always fun talking to you.
Yeah, same here. All right. Well, you have yourself a good night and go finish watching Discovery, and we will hopefully talk very soon.
Absolutely. And just let's talk about this thing you have on mind. It sounds cool. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. So I've had a lot of cool people. Actually, the guitarist from Twisted Tower Dyer is doing the Iron Maiden song with us. So that's
super. Nice.
Yeah. That'd be very cool. But everybody, please What is it? Do you have a website? Because I know a lot of bands don't have websites anymore. Do you have a website? Is it Iron
I
Savior?
do now. We have now. Actually, no. At the time, we don't have a website. We mainly communicate via Facebook. That is our main tool. And well, I know that it still would be a good idea to have a website, and I'm working on it. But I really don't want to bother to spend money on having somebody hired to do it for us, because it's not of that importance for me to have a website. But it's and maybe if I find the time, I will somehow put together a simple website myself and upload this, and so there's something there that says, hello, we are Iron Savior and we do this and this, and we have that and that album out now. But I think the times are over where you really have to have a super informative and super detailed website. You pick that up from social media channels.
Yeah, especially there's so many things out there to be on. So you're just on Facebook?
Yeah, we're mainly on Facebook. We have an Iron Savior account, and I have a personal account, Piet Sielck account, and I think we are connected on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
all right. So everybody go search Iron Savior.
It's all channeled to that. That for me actually is the fastest way to communicate, because I can do it just on the side when I do things, and just to do a fast post on Facebook. You have to sit down and write the news for websites. This is something I would never do.
I know. I do it because I do everything that's involved with this show, and updating the website and the Facebook and the Twitter and Instagram. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know, and so that's why I decided I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Instagram, I'm on Facebook only, and that I can handle.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Just stay that way. It's fine. But everybody, please, ratsaladreview.com, Iron Savior on Facebook. Just search up Iron Savior, and you can find Piet Sielck on Facebook as well. You're very chatty on there sometimes.
And of course, you can find our videos of Soul Eater and the audio video of Our Time Has Come now on YouTube playing, and they also play on Spotify right now.
Yeah, very.
By the way,
just
mentioning Spotify. It's hard to believe, but Heavy Metal Never Dies is about to hit 8 million streams on Spotify, which I think is quite cool.
And how much money have you made from that? 8 cents?
8 cents. No. Yeah, there are a lot of zeros behind the dot for every stream. Oh, I actually do see the performance of Heavy Metal Never Dies. So Spotify became my friend over the last year, so to say.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not getting incredibly rich by it, but I do see that my license statements are getting better.
Oh, well, let's go. Hopefully, you're one of the first ones I've ever heard of. Spotify being in your favor, so that's good.
Well, I mean, there's not too much wrong with those with all those streaming subscriptions. In a way, it's a fair deal. I mean, as a musician or as an artist, you can receive, let's say, regular income. You can sort of rely on a little bit, because if you have a good catalog, and that's on Spotify, you make a good average money but the problem is, and that right now, it's just too little that especially Spotify is paying. They have been getting the rights too cheap, but that goes back to the time when the record companies didn't think of Spotify as a distribution channel for distributing their stuff. They looked at Spotify more or less as a promotion tool, where people could listen to the album and then go and buy the CD. Right. And that's why they gave the digital rights away, and for my taste, way too cheap. And this is something that I hope will change within the next years. And if you get a fair pay from let's say a platform like Spotify or Apple Music actually is paying twice as much as Spotify. And I think the best pay you get from Xbox, but that just on the side. But in the end, I think um, those streaming subscriptions are cool for musicians and for fans, because you know, fans who have or listeners, consumers who have subscriptions, they don't go to torrent sites anymore because there's no use for them to go there, you know. And so it could be a win-win situation in the end. Let's see.
Yeah, hopefully, one day, because that guy who owns Spotify, I mean, he's making a good penny.
Yeah, he's making a good penny. That's right.
But we need the artists. The artists need to have the money as well. So
he will find out that if he treats the artist bad, that well, I mean, he needs material, you know. A streaming service without music is not working. So in the end, he's a little bit depending on the artist.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I already know one band. They were already talking about just releasing 3 songs on like Spotify. But if you want to hear the rest of the album, you're gonna have to buy it. You know, buy the physical product. You know.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like this will happen. So, I believe that the market itself will regulate. You know.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And right now it's still out of balance. It's not as bad as it used to be. And let's put it like this: if Spotify now needs some more, uses the money, they are obviously not to buy expensive yachts at the Côte d'Azur or stuff like that, you know, but just to build up their company and work out more distribution channels and reach more people, then it's okay for me, you know. I see it more or less like an investment. But of course, I also think that is important, and I hope that the people at Spotify understand this, that at some point they also have to pay back a little bit more than they do now. You know?
Right. Yeah. So hopefully that gets straightened out sometime. Please, we gotta, right?
Absolutely.
Again, thank you very much, Pete, for coming on the show.
Yeah. And
I think that was the 3rd time. Unless you got anything else?
No. I'm all good. I think I said so much tonight that now I have to get a glass of water.
I'm just gonna have to give you the show from now on. The show is yours. Good luck.
Thanks, dude. Oh, there's still something left in my Corona.
Yeah, I still got plenty of Sierra Mist left. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. RatSaladReview.com, Iron Savior. Buy the new album Skycrest. You won't be disappointed. Go check out the videos on YouTube, and we will see you guys next week. Toodaloo, goodbye, and heavy metal never dies.
Absolutely.